What's going on, everybody? It is April 9th, so we are officially 1 week away from spring turkey season here in Kentucky. Cannot wait, so excited, and I'm out in the little 6x12 cargo trailer that we've done into somewhat of a camping conversion for our Deer 30 Outdoors field base camp. And it's just really to make us more mobile, to get more places and not have to worry about finding a place to stay or whatever it might be. And a lot of times it limits us from where we want to actually go. So this thing's small enough I can get it in and out pretty much anywhere I want to take it. But at the same time, spacious enough to have anything that I need to hunt at all times in here ready to go. So even on a last minute hunt, I can come home from work, hook to this thing, take it anywhere I want to go, and jump out and be ready to hunt whatever I want to hunt. So that was kind of the brainchild behind this thing. So I've gotten a lot of requests to kind of see the final project or final outcome of everything. And we're not there yet, but it is ready to go. I mean, it's usable. The only thing really left to do is I'm wanting to put an awning on the side, the passenger side of the camper or the trailer itself. So we're going to be putting a mount on the A-frame of the front of this thing and putting a battery box on there with a solar lid, so it locks all up. No one can come up and steal your battery out of there. And then it's, at the same time, it sits there and trickle charges for you. So I'm going to show you guys around here, but as you just seen in the intro, we've got a Predator 3500 inverter gas generator. Thing's super quiet and crazy affordable. I mean, I would put this thing side by side with any of the Honda generators, and be honest with you, I think it's actually quieter, and I could literally power half my house with that thing. So we've got the generator on board. It's all fastened and secured so it can't roll around or flip over. But again, we're going to go through and show you all these different things that we've done. If you haven't already, jump back and check out the last episode that I dropped. It's gotten a ton of views and a lot of people asking questions. So obviously you like this, you guys are liking this trailer conversion, but I've had quite a few people reach out and ask me when I was going to drop kind of the finished project on anything or everything that we've done. So it's kind of what this episode is just before we kind of jump start Flop 30 2022 next weekend. I wanted to kind of give you guys a final update on the old Deer 30 Outdoors base camp. So here we go. Let's jump into it. Before we start throwing everything into this that we're going to be using for our first camping trip with this thing, as far as like Coleman stoves and just all the stuff that's going to cause clutter in here, I just wanted to go through and give you that final kind of update of where we're at. But if you haven't already, jump back and watch that last video, because that really goes over a lot of the major steps that we had done up to this point, such as the Herculiner bed liner that we put on the underbelly of this thing. Go back and check it out for that. Installed the floor, so it's a rubber material. I got it off of Amazon, and it's just a seamless piece all the way down through there. There is a lot of cutting involved, but it's easy to cut. You just get a template or whatever you want to do and you can cut it. But I will tell you this, with a razor knife you can mess up your cut really quick. So I messed up twice and had to restart. Thank goodness I ordered plenty. But this final outcome is seamless. The only problem is the floor was a learning curve on what the best thing to use to glue it down was. So again, go back and check out that last video, because up here on the shelf, this is perfect. You don't see any bumps, anything. I mean, it would take a lot to get this off of the shelf board itself. But that was just learning process. I mean, I did the tailgate, the drop gate first. Don't like how that turned out at all with the Gorilla Glue. Then we moved to the linoleum floor glue that you roll on with a 3/8 nap roller. Worked great. But on the floor, I did not roll it on the material itself and the floor. I just put it on the floor and then rolled the floor back all the way back. If it would have put it on the floor and the material, I don't think I would have gotten all these bubbles. But as you can see, this is the bubbles I'm talking about. And so I've got these things here for the four-wheeler tires to sit on, because the first day I put the four-wheeler in here, all the bubbles were in there, everywhere the cleats of the tire were at. So, and I'll get that glare out of here. There we go. Well, you can see it's got a couple bubbles in it. But guys, for what I'm going to be using it for, it's fine. I mean, I don't see it just ripping all the way off. But if it does, I know now, if I had to pull this piece out, I'll go back and put a coat both sides of this material and the floor with that linoleum floor glue. So again, jump back and watch that last video. It goes through a lot of this stuff. Then I've got the X-Track throughout the entire thing. As you can see over here, I've got my fire extinguisher, X-Track mount. So you just, well, if I can do it single-handedly, there you go. And I got my fire extinguisher ready to go. And it just literally clips back on here. So I'm gonna be getting another one of those, but I got X-Track, as you can see, running down both sides. I already have my climber in here, one of my climbers, and then I hadn't run the X-Track. I'm probably gonna want to actually come lower on the next run, but these are E-Track singles, and then you got these D-ring attachments or O-ring attachments, but that is, look at that. I mean, that's going nowhere. And then you got the spare tire that's mounted with a piece of X-Track into 2 studs. The tire itself is resting on the floor, not to put a bunch of additional pressure on the back of that wall, but that's mounted. The generator is also mounted with a piece of X-Track. Probably see it back there. Then I've got that ratcheted in. The floor, or the shelf, I think last time that you seen the shelf had the facial board on, but I did add this little piece of rubber trim. It is just a 1 inch by 1 inch L-shaped piece of rubber trim. So I glued that on, and then I did throw a couple of black tack nails into it just to keep it from pulling off. I added some individual, get this focused. So I got some individual E-Track pieces here that is mounted with an 1.5 inch screw into the 2x4. So I did that, 3 of those on the front, and that is just so once I get like all my stuff up there, cots, totes, whatever I'm gonna have up here, I'm gonna be able to just run a ratchet strap or bungee cords or whatever across all of that, just to keep anything from flying off of this shelf going down the road. So I got that done. So we got the shelf, and again, a big part of the last video was watching how I built this shelf, so go check that out too. I'm not going to get into depth on that. I got the E-Track on the front. The only thing about, or I'm sorry, that's the X-Track. The only thing about the E-Track and X-Track, what I learned through this build is these are 24 on center studs, and the pieces that I found, like this is a 48-inch piece, which if you do the math, I know it sounds crazy, but they don't line up to the studs. So the front, the studs are a little closer together. Down the sidewalls, they are 24-inch on center studs. Just hopefully that helps you guys out. Let's see, what else? The Rhino tie downs. And then they just come with a ratchet strap. I'll show you that here in a second. Man, this thing's having a hard time zooming today. There we go. But that just ratchets down. Let's see, from Rhino USA, I got the heavy duty hitch tightener. So I'll be throwing that on. I'll do a video on that. Tire gauge, inflator gauge, the heavy duty ratchet tie down kit, and then the UTV wheel chock tie down kit. So that's what I've gotten so far through Rhino, but guys, check that out. I mean, it's www.rhinousa.com, and they just have some badass off-road trailer tie-down equipment. Everything from snatch blocks to Yankum ropes to anything you would want for off-road as far as recovery or tie-down. They've got it there, and this stuff's pretty awesome. And it's made in America, and it is very durable. So go check them out. And then for power, yes, I want to have power when I'm camping. I don't want to just leave this thing connected to my truck and plugged into my truck for lights and whatnot. Plus, when we start using it here and obviously next season, deer season, it's going to be cold, and I'm going to want a heater in here. So I've got this AC port. Probably better if I did it like this. But AC port plug, and as you can see down here, It just comes through the sidewall. And you'll notice these two screws here, that one and that one. I'll show it to you in a second, but that's just hollow between this wall on the inside and the aluminum skin that's on the outside. There's nothing, there's no barrier in between. So in between your studs. So actually I had to take two pieces of wood, cut them to size so they didn't bulge it out, and put them at an angle in there once I cut my 2-inch hole to have something to screw into. And it didn't want to pull the aluminum skin back and put a big dent in it. So I'll show that to you in a second, but really cool, got that done. So I just filled that with some silicone, and then anywhere that there was any major gaps, I made sure I filled that with silicone, especially on the back door. If I want to come in here and spray this thing down, I didn't want the water dripping underneath of the OSB board and then sitting underneath of the Herculiner that I put down there and winding up to have it rot. So trimmed all that out with silicone. And then let's go check out this AC port from the outside. So I kind of want it hidden. So as you can see here, but I'll just run my generator out away from this really good, and then all I have to do is come and plug it up. And then from the inside, I'll have a circuit breaker switch that I can plug in multiple things, but definitely plan on running a heater in here. And then right now I'm just going to be running just that light until I can get some additional lights wired into the battery. So let's see, I got the AC plug. Oh, I know. Hold on, I'm about to drop the back or you guys are gonna get, it's gonna get real dark in there real quick. Sorry for the wind. I'll drop the back down. So one thing I wanted to be able to do, obviously, is come in here. Oh, dang, I'm short, but I'm not short enough sometimes. But as you can see, I mounted a little latch so that at night I can come in and lock myself in. So I started with a 1/2-inch piece, and that just was not high enough, that it was only clearing here and wasn't getting over this main support. And so this is just a piece of aluminum here. It's real thin, and if somebody tugged on it hard enough with it sitting just like that, I could see where it would wind up denting it. Plus, it didn't give me the seal that I was looking for. So I went with a 3/4 inch, which was perfect. And that gets me over that lip where the main structure of the trailer is. So you can pull on that, ain't going nowhere. But let me tell you the most important probably thing of this video, if you're gonna do that right there. Do not go inside at night and lock yourself in and leave that latch like this. Do not go in and lock yourself in with that latch and leave your trailer like this. Because one of two things. Your buddies at camp can come and play a little joke on you and lock you in, and you're screwed. Like, screwed. Like, unless you kick in a wall, you're stuck in there. Or worst case scenario, someone comes and locks you in there on purpose and you have no way to get out. So before you shut this up for the night, take your lock, flip that down, and put you a lock on there. So worst case scenario at that point, hold on. But worst case scenario is someone can come and do that to you, maybe even that, but eventually you can pop that off and hopefully be able to get out versus truly being stuck and locked in there. But as you can see, I cannot get in there. It's locked. So, like I said, I wanted to be able to come in here at night and be secure, but don't be so secure that someone comes and locks you in and you can't get out of your trailer. So So be sure, absolutely be sure to take a lock and put over that clasp so that nobody can come and lock you in. And then, like I said, worst case scenario, even if they were to put that arm over, I could push on this hard enough to pop that arm up and not be totally locked in. But at night, I am secure. So that's a 3/4 inch little piece of wood. Just cut it down to size. That is into the studs, and then just put some finishers in there. That's going nowhere. Got my AC outlet there. This does have the, hold on. Just keep the wind from blowing it. It does have my Fort Knox lock. So I have a pin lock. The Fort Knox lock. I do have this wheel caster on just to move it around at home, but I'm going to be putting the other one back on because it doesn't come up high enough for clearance going down the road. So I'll just put the skid plate back on that. Definitely has your puck lock on your puck lock on the Fort Knox lock there. So I know I'm definitely secure on that. And then I have on the wheel, I have the wheel boot from Trimax. Pick those up on Amazon. But just trying to deter anybody from wanting to come and steal this thing. I mean, if they want to have to come and hook up to this, one, they're gonna have to get to the back of my property. Good luck, because I have a bunch of stuff sitting in front of it. Two, they're gonna spend hours trying to cut through 3 different locks. And then I have the master locks, the cylinder locks for all the doors. So I've got it as secure as I can, but who knows? Criminals are criminals. So I don't know. I think that's it. Got the X-Track. I got the E-Track singles. Starting to put in my hunting gear. I'm getting ready to start throwing some gazebos. Just 10 by 10 pop-up gazebos. So when we get there, throw that out. Put my chairs out. Throw my Weber, or throw my my little grill out. Got the Predator generator ready for electricity. And then got my shelf. The underbelly's done. Floor's trimmed out. I guess one of the biggest things, learning curves of this, was how to glue down the floor and not have it bubble up on you. And I know how to do it now, but it wasn't until I did the shelf that we learned that. So the floor's not perfect, but it's way better than just exposed OSB. So guys, I think that's everything. If not, if I'm forgetting something, if you have any questions, feel free, just like you have in the past, just throw them questions down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I mean, it's not made for true comfort. It's made to get me out of the weather, out of the elements, and keep me into the field longer. So we can continue to bring you more and more videos. And as I say that, I'm looking at 4 or 5 turkeys about 400 yards from me right now. Let me flip this around. Seven more days. 7 more days, but I'm not going to hunt that turkey because I like watching them out my back window. I'm going to go hunt a turkey somewhere else. But yeah, guys, I think that's everything that we've done so far. I don't know of anything else that I've left out so far, but eventually, like I said, I am going to put an awning on the side. I'm going to put a roof rack on top, and I'm going to put that that cage on the front, that little battery box on the front of the trailer, and then I'm going to be putting a battery with solar on this as well, so we can be more off-grid capable. But other than that, guys, this is going to be the last video until I start Flop 30 series here in 7 days. So countdown has begun. Get down there and smash that subscribe button. You're not going to miss a single episode for the upcoming 2022 season. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you appreciated or enjoyed this episode. And until next time, wake up and hunt.
night.